In this video, I share with you the truth of whether you should do cardio to lose fat, and if so, how much cardio should you be doing? Let's get into the video. What is going on, my friend? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian DaCosta of briandacosta.com. I am on a mission to get you shredded for life, and if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, dropping your first like, dropping your first comment, and if you've been sticking around for a while, thank you for doing so. Now, let's get into the video and the subject, words. Should you be doing cardio if you want to lose fat? And if so, how much cardio should you do? And I'm gonna start this video out with a story, as I usually like to do. So, my upbringing, I was a soccer player primarily. When I was younger, my dad had my brother, I have an older brother, 1 year older than me, both of us in pretty much every sport, except football. My mom didn't want us to play football, and I'm glad I didn't play football, to be honest. But I ended up moving through middle school and high school and really gravitating towards and really sticking to playing soccer primarily. I was gonna play, got a plane coming. Whatever. Ended up not playing soccer, but regardless, I was a runner. I was doing a lot of cardio. On a soccer field, the average soccer player runs 6 to 8 miles. That's a fun fact if you're a soccer player. You run a lot, and not only that, on top of that, I was a cross-country runner, and I was a track runner. I ran the 1600 and the 800, which for those who aren't indoctrinated in track speak, that's the half mile and the mile run. And I was just a runner, running all the time with my upbringing until I found the gym and my love for weight training, for bodybuilding. And I always thought if you wanted to be lean, which I was lean, I was really skinny growing up, I had to be doing cardio. I was like, well, I'm lean because I'm doing cardio. That's a requirement. Well, here's the truth, guys. The punchline is you don't have to do cardio to lose fat. You don't have to do cardio at all. That's the truth. What matters most is we reduce our body fat percentage. And to reduce our body fat percentage, we lead first with nutrition, eating in a caloric deficit, and weight training first, resistance training, working our muscles, growing our muscle, and burning calories in that sense. And we can introduce cardio as a tool on top of that. And guys, this is coming from someone that is the leanest he's ever been. Currently, if you've been following along, I'm preparing for a bodybuilding competition coming up here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. If I had to guess, I'm right around 6% body fat. This is the lowest I've ever been. And the truth is, I'm doing less cardio than I normally do. And for the first 10 weeks of my prep, I prepped for roughly 14 weeks, I did zero cardio. Zero, yes. I just introduced cardio 2 weeks ago, which would have put us about 5 weeks away from competition. And about 5 weeks ago, I was probably sitting 8-9% body fat or so. These are rough estimates. So I was able to reduce my body fat percentage significantly without doing any cardio whatsoever. Now, when I started, I was around 212 pounds. I was able to get down to around 193, 194 pounds. Significant fat loss there, around 20 pounds, without doing any cardio. So here's the thing. We can introduce cardio to expedite the process of fat loss. If we've hit a plateau, if we've stalled, we've been reducing our calories, and we shouldn't go much lower. You know, for women, we shouldn't be venturing much lower than 1,200 calories per day. For men, shouldn't be venturing much lower than 2,000 calories per day. At that point, when our nutrition's been dialed in, we've optimized that, and our weight training's been dialed in, we can take it a step further with introducing cardio. And guys, I beg you, please believe me here, because and not just for this reason, but just to give you some context, for cross country alone, we would run 10 to 15 miles per day. So in a week, I was logging 70 plus miles ran on top of playing soccer. So I conceivably was running upwards of over 100 miles per week. And I was a higher body fat percentage than what I am right now. I was, at that point, around high school time frame, I was hovering around 10% to 12% body fat. All right, so at the leanest I am right now, doing significantly less cardio than that. Right now, I am simply incline walking on the treadmill for about an hour per day. And that equates to about 3 miles of cardio per day for myself. But for you, I know you're sitting there thinking, well, what about for me? We start small. Start small with cardio. Start with doing it a couple times per week. 2 times per week for 30 minutes. You can do a brisk walk outside. You can do a walk on the treadmill, as I highlighted. You can jump on the Stairmaster. You can do the elliptical. You can use the row machine. You can use the bike. You can bike outside. Guys, there's so many different ways that we can do cardio. And my challenge to you, for the 99% of people who aren't looking to get insanely shredded, insanely lean, the place where I'm going, is we think of what can be the most fun and what is efficient with our time, right? Because we're busy people, we don't have all the time in the world to do cardio. So for you, what's something that's fun? And you might be sitting there thinking like, cardio's not freaking fun, like nothing's fun. Well, pick the one that's the least painful and stick to that option and be consistent starting with 2 days per week. And then you can increase it from there, doing 3 days per week, doing 4 days per week, perhaps increasing from doing 30 minutes per session up to 40 minutes per session, or eventually getting up to an hour. Now, when you are at lower body fat percentages, and this is for a very subset of people, but you may be curious if you are looking to do a competition or get very lean. When we get sub 10% body fat for men, that's the rough baseline, and for women, sub 16, 17% body fat, there are adverse effects to doing certain types of cardio, so other types of cardio is actually beneficial. The type that is not very beneficial at low body fat percentages is the intense stuff, the high intensity interval training, the HIIT training, the fast running, the stuff that is very cardiovascularly taxing to our nervous system, to our CNS, our central nervous system, because when we are at lower body fat percentages, our recovery is slower, we're not taking in as many calories and nutrition, so when we do that, we are really setting ourselves up not to win. We're setting ourselves up to lose more or less with our recovery. It pushes us down. It makes us tired. We need longer to recover to do cardio again. Perhaps our mood just goes lower during the day. Our weight training kind of goes to shit. So I'd say for you who is low body fat already, looking to get shredded, stay away from the intense stuff and navigate towards the low intensity LISS. It's called low intensity steady state cardio. That's probably why I would have ventured to guess, if you follow anyone on social media that does competitions or gets to low body fat percentages, you may see them, with a hoodie on, walking on the treadmill. And you may be thinking, why are they walking? Why don't they just run? Aren't they an athlete? Well, they're actually doing that for a specific reason. It's because they are protecting their energy. And not only that, but there are some studies that go to show that at doing LISS at low intensity cardio, we can target fat burn a little more than on the HIIT style, because high intensity training, it triggers our body to use our primary preferred fuel source, carbohydrates, to fuel that intense exercise. That is what our body gravitates towards when we are doing moderate MISS or HIIT style training versus the lower end, the LISS, which is low intensity steady state, where we can target fat a bit more. So I believe the study shows that fat is like we burn per calories, because no matter what, either one, we are actually burning calories. That's what matters most. We can burn 60, 70% fat calories doing low intensity steady state versus on the intense stuff where we're burning 60, 70% glycogen carbohydrates. I hope that makes sense. So guys, conclusion here is you do not need to do cardio to lose fat. So that may come as a blessing for some of you. Yes, don't have to do cardio. But if you hit a fat loss plateau, which many of us do, it may be a beneficial tool for you to introduce cardio slowly but surely over time, over weeks and months, to keep that fat loss going, facilitate that caloric deficit, and get to that body, that shredded for life look that you are looking for, that body of your dreams. So guys, hope you found this video helpful. If you're new to the channel, again, please consider subscribing. Would mean a lot to me. Drop a comment, drop a like, and if you agree or disagree, just let me know, and I will see you guys. I need to optimize the way that I close these videos. We'll say that much. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
I got the recipe. If you want, take time with an extra G. I'll be cooking all the signs, that's destiny. You're the one, girl, you're best for me. So let me go say, come on away from me. You know what? Can you slip when you slide for me? She did it right for me. Now I'm living the time of a life for me. Come on away from me.